Trump responds to the Twitter files in detail. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Donald Trump has not ignored the Twitter files. In fact, as I told you earlier, he talked about the very first installment on his own platform, Truth Social. Last Thursday, December 15th, he talked at greater length about the release of the installment describing how Twitter finally banned him by executive fiat. He has proposed 5 specific measures to address the abuses that the Twitter file threads have revealed. Tonight, I'm going to analyze his proposal in detail and discuss how we can likely get ahead of most of it. Before I start, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, including this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which reads, 1984 was not an instruction manual. And how? One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see that little icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Now, let's get to it. Donald Trump actually made 2 announcements last Thursday. The first, well, evidently it was his sale of non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. At least one Twitter user suggested it was a feint to get his enemies to drop their guard. I've left a link in the description to that user's tweet, in which he describes what a feint is and says that the NFT announcement was a feint. Well, I might go along with that, except that I find it difficult to imagine why Donald Trump should feel the need to do something like that. And at last report, all of his NFTs sold out within 24 hours. In any case, the real announcement came out 2 hours later. Jack Posobiec, editor of Human Events, embedded the video at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I have a link in the description to his embedded video and of a transcript that American Action News prepared. In the video, Trump addresses the Twitter files like this, quote, "In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately," unquote Donald Trump, who then unveiled a 5-part plan to deal with the Twitter files revelations. His plan begins with specific measures to stop any such cooperation. This includes, first, forbidding any department or agency to collude with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. This also includes defunding any programs to label speech as mis, dis, or malinformation, and firing any federal officer, agent, or other employee engaged in such behavior. Second, he would task his Attorney General with investigating and prosecuting any violations of federal law that occurred. He flatly accused those involved of violating federal civil rights, campaign finance, election securities, and antitrust law. Trump also suggested Hatch Act violations. Now, the Hatch Act forbids any government employee to do any politicking on the job. Selective application of any policy against political opponents would almost certainly qualify. Third, he would ask Congress to revise Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act to revoke the privileged status of platforms who behave like publishers, with all the selectivity that implies. Fourth, he proposes defunding any private groups who cooperated with such censorship, as the Twitter files has revealed. He specifically singled out colleges and universities who receive federal funds. Trump then suggested enacting new laws to penalize federal officers who urged private actors to become state actors. In line with this, Trump said that no employee of the FBI, the CIA, the DNI, the DHS, or DOD, that's the Department of Defense, should take a job with a Twitter-like company for 7 years. That last part refers to invasions of privacy. What sets Twitter and other social media apart from other companies is their maintenance of vast troves of user data. And last, Trump proposed a digital Bill of Rights. Interestingly, Trump addressed FBI communications with Twitter before the release of Twitter Files 6 that I talked about yesterday, describing the full extent of Twitter's cooperation with the FBI. The first elements of this digital rights might read something like this. No user of any social medium shall, at the behest of any government agency, have his digital content removed from such medium without due process of law. Now, said due process would involve an order from a court of competent jurisdiction. Trump proposed that anyone subject to suspension, shadow banning, or visibility filtering, or anything like that, be entitled to notice of any such action and the grounds for that action, and the right to a timely appeal. His next proposal is the most radical, that any user who is 18 years of age or older should have the right to opt out of content moderation or curation. And now, as I promised, I'm going to analyze all of that, including that last part, so stick with me. Before I begin, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, let's unpack that Trump plan. First, let me remind you, 7 plaintiffs filed a major lawsuit against the government for its use of Facebook and Twitter as state actors. The plaintiffs include the Attorneys General of Missouri and Louisiana. In fact, the AG of Missouri is now Missouri's senator-elect. A biochemist at Stanford University who suffered such censorship when disputing the government's narrative concerning the virus that shall remain nameless. And at least one journalist who writes for the Gateway Pundit. The Intercept first revealed actual activities that the lawsuit alleges. The Twitter files confirm this for Twitter, and logically one might expect a Facebook files to have similar evidence. Step 1 would also address those activities. Happily, the case of Missouri ex rel. Schmidt et al. Versus Biden et al. Is moving through the courts now. Step 2 reminds us that the present Attorney General, Secretary of Homeland Security, and other civil officers have committed impeachable offenses. The House of Representatives could and should start investigating the plethora of violations in the next term of Congress. Revising Section 230 is already subject to debate. Andrew Torba, the builder of the Gab Empire, wants Section 230 left alone. He regards the willingness of Twitter and others to play ball with the government as a selling point for the services he offers. Besides, he trusts no one not under his direct employ, it seems. When it comes to his staff, he either trusts them or they're fired. But he can't do anything about anyone else who promises to deal with online censorship. So he won't rely on any such person, no matter who they are or what they propose. The proposal to defund colleges, universities, and think tanks involved in online censorship raises another question. Hasn't Justice Clarence Thomas already suggested that any private entity who censors another on the government's say-so violates the First Amendment? Biden versus Knight, First Amendment Center of Columbia University, year 2021, Justice Clarence Thomas concurring. Now we come to that digital Bill of Rights. Is it feasible? Well, let's look. The first part of that digital Bill of Rights should come when Missouri versus Biden goes for a verdict. Because again, Clarence Thomas concurrence in Biden versus Knight First Amendment Center suggests that Americans already have that right. Now, users of Gab definitely have it. Andrew Torba is on record refusing to censor anyone at the behest of any government, state, federal, or foreign. Elon Musk already pledges to make the second part a matter of Twitter policy. Now, he could do better by adopting the very simple terms of service and content standards of Gab. Likewise, Andrew Torba would do well to inform an offender at once what policy he has violated. The third policy would be the most difficult of all to justify. That would, at first view, seem to allow someone to publish material that would clearly violate federal or state law. Now, this goes to the simple standards that Gab has. Gab will not be an accessory to copyright or patent infringement, threats, or off-color photos exploitative of adults or especially children. Letting a user opt out of all content moderation or curation puts the platform at an obvious risk. The Gab example clearly shows that some content standards are necessary, and they need not violate anyone's rights. Trump has room to criticize, not only by reason of what happened to him, but because social media are comparable to telephone service. Many of these social media platforms have, in fact, tried to supplant conventional telephony. When they do that, they must respect users' reasonable expectation of having access to a means of communication. The laws of nearly every state already make it unlawful to use the telephone to threaten another person. Applying a safe standard to social media should be all that a person of good heart should need or expect. The Trump anti-censorship plan is a good start, especially regarding the activities of government bureaucrats. Furthermore, those who value their freedom need not necessarily wait for Trump to return to office or for someone of like mind to him to take office. At least one platform has never played like a state actor. The courts can and should take care of those that have. Link in the description of the article, to that tweet about feints, to the tweet containing Trump's video, to the transcript of Trump's remarks, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and ourcivilines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. And on the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel, a link to my Twitter Files playlist, to my State Actor video, and to coverage of Trump's announcement at Forbes. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another Declaration of Truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.